Hello and welcome back to my channel. As you can probably tell by the title, today's video is the no makeup challenge. Yes, it is a challenge for me because I have oily, acne prone skin and I like to wear full coverage foundations on a daily basis. All that discoloration, all that acne is not very no makeup friendly. But I'm inspired by Raw Beauty Christie, Nikki Tutorials and Jaclyn Hill recently did a version of this. You want to use something that's going to look very soft and gentle and as if you're not wearing makeup. So if you would like to see how I transform myself from this to this, then just keep on watching. I am low-key scared that I'm going to end up with a full mask with a full face of foundation anyway, because I'm just so used to it, but I'm going to give my best. I'm going to start off with a moisturizer. This is Revolution SPF 30 Protecting Boost. The reason why I'm doing this is because you want a moisturized, healthy looking skin. And I always do this regardless of whether it's minimal makeup or not. You want something that's got SPF in it because you need to protect your skin on a daily basis. But also you want a moisturized skin, especially if you don't prime. I want to bronze first. A couple of years back when I worked for NCS, I didn't wear makeup for the whole duration of that program. I only used bronzer. It is so loud today. The pigeon outside that's got a nest literally next to my window is so loud. It's gonna be fun. For the whole duration of NCS, I only wore cream bronzer just to give myself a little bit of confidence. Anyway, I'm going to bronze with my regular Revolution matte base concealer in 13.5. Even though this process might seem counterproductive, I want to slightly bronze, and yes, I will spot conceal after. That's why it's sort of counterproductive, but I always find that bronzer gives me like this boost of confidence. Like, my forehead looks so good. I already feel better. That's why I understand why people fake tan. I don't fake tan. I don't like the smell. But oh my god, like my forehead, that bronziness, already happier. And another area that I'm somewhat happy is my nose and like underneath my eyes where the sun naturally hits. I'm going to put a little bit of bronzer on my nose, on tops of my cheeks. Even though it's quite strong right now, I'm going to use concealer in those areas anyway. I wouldn't call it a technique. This is something that I'm doing. I'm putting some on my chin just to balance the whole face. And I'm putting it on the chin and just underneath a little bit. And I'm blending it down just so every part of my face is gently bronzed. This isn't contour, it's just to give like more dimension and like warmth to my skin. And now it's time to spot conceal. For my spot concealer, I'm going to take Revolution Conceal and Define Infinite Concealer. I have the shade C5, probably the closest to my skin tone as I could get it in the store. They didn't have all the shades in the store. So I'm actually going to mix in the tiniest bit of Collection Lasting Perfection in Extra Fair 0 to lighten it up a little bit to make my right shade. And now I'm going to take, it's like a fluffy brush but it's quite dense. If you have the Expert concealer brush, it's like a mini version of what I use to bronze with, you could use that. I'm going to mix my shades together. Is that too light? Maybe a little. I'm going to spot conceal spots that are like really hitting me like immediately. When I look at my face, this is what I see. And then I'm slowly going to tilt my head to the side and focus on the rest. And as my brush is drying, as the amount of concealer on it is disappearing, I'm going to start to blend. Because the discoloration on my jaw is the worst. I'm kind of covering all of that, and it's still quite a thin layer, as you can see. You can still see my discoloration through it. I don't have as much product on my brush, so I'm going to blend the spot concealing. I'm also going to use some of that concealer concoction around my nostrils. I'm also going to highlight with this, and whenever I have a big spot like I did here, I left it to sit for a long time, and I'm only blending in the edges. That's covered pretty nicely actually. Honestly, if I didn't have so much discoloration on a daily basis, I wouldn't even wear foundation. I would just bronze. I'm working on it though. That's probably the biggest issue I'm facing as a person who has acne. My Outsmart blemish treatment is doing a great job at keeping my spots at bay, but I'm looking for products that can help me with the discoloration. I'm adding a second layer on some of the spots that didn't cover as well, and I'm leaving them. I'm just putting some concealer on top and I'm letting it dry a little bit. It will give you the biggest coverage that you can get out of a concealer. I know I look crazy and patchy and whatnot, don't worry. I'm going to move onto a sponge, and I'm making sure everything is blended in. That's not bad. Round 2 of bronzer. I want to bring back that warmth, so I'm putting some of that bronzer like underneath where I would contour, on top of my cheeks as well. You want to use a stamping motion because you don't really want to touch that concealer too much. I always focus on my forehead, my cheeks and my chin. I always find that it balances everything nicely. And I know I bronzed a lot. I like to be bronzed. If you don't like to be as orange, let's keep it real. If you don't want to be as orange, just don't bronze as much. And now it's time to very lightly conceal the under eye. For my under eye, I'm going to take the same concoction. I'm actually going to go straight in with this concealer, but I'm going to pick it up on the same little fluffy dense brush that I used. I'm going to make a dot like on my inner tear duct. So like that. You can even close your eyes and do it. I have a lot of veins on my eyes, just a little bit on there. And now when your brush is somewhat dry, you can begin to blend, and the biggest discoloration is always underneath, but on your inner portion. You don't have to conceal your outer corner. Make sure it's all blended in. I'm even taking my finger and like using the warmth of my finger to blend it in. Time to blush, and I highly encourage you to blush because paired with faux freckles, which we will do next, it gives you such a girly, fresh, minimalistic, healthy looking masterpiece. I'm going to take the Revolution Patricia Bright Moonlight Glow palette, and I'm going to start off with the blush. And what you want to do is go on top of your apples, almost underneath your eye. Put it on top of your nose, blend it in. I did add quite a lot of blush. I kind of look sunburned, don't mind that. I'm now going to take the bronzer, and I do want to lightly set my cream bronzer. So as you can see, I'm not using any powder at all so far, apart from the products that I'm using that are powder formula. And finally, I'm going to take the highlight from this palette. I'm going to go on top of my cheekbones. I'm not highlighting a lot, and to make it like seamless and blend it into the skin, I sometimes do take a wet sponge and I'm like blending it in so it's there, but it's not like really harsh. I'm actually going to take a little bit more and make that C shape from underneath my brow onto my cheek. I really like that look, especially with natural looks like this. And finally for the highlight, I'm taking a pencil brush and highlighting my inner corners. Because I have this palette here, I'm going to take the tiniest bit of that bronzer mixed with the blush, just a little bit, because I do want to set my lids. So I'm taking a little bit of that and I'm putting that on my mobile lid. I did put a concealer there, remember, so I do need something to set it with, and I'm considering to not use powder today, but you could, just don't over powder. So you can see that I'm wearing makeup, but it's very minimalistic. That's what I'm going for. My favorite trick is faux freckles. This really takes away all of that heaviness. Even if you have a full coverage foundation, I feel like if you add a little bit of freckles, it kind of takes it back a little bit. I'm going to show you two techniques. One is using a root hider spray. This has to be like brown tones, so dark blonde, brownie tones, and basically what you need to do is close your eyes. You kind of want to focus it on the center of your face. This gives you like very, very small specks, but to give it some dimension and irregularity, which is what freckles have, I'm going to use another technique. I'm taking a dotting tool and a liquid lipstick. Again, you want like this brownie grey. I'm dipping my dotting tool in my lipstick and it's gonna go on my nose. As it's still wet, I'm taking my finger and I'm using it to pat it in, but also to use it as a stamp. And you want dots that are irregular in shape. Some are small, some are a little bit bigger, some are a little bit more faint, so a bit more prominent. You want some on your nose, on your cheeks, on your forehead. Put them anywhere you feel like. You kind of want to put freckles where sun would naturally hit the most. For my brows, because my brows are quite nice naturally, I don't have to draw them on to have brows. I'm just going to put a little bit of Anastasia Dip Brow Gel. I always take this and start from the middle out, and then I do the front. So just a little bit of like grooming. And now I'm just putting a little bit of soap through my brows, fluffing them up. If you have really long brows, this might not be the technique for you because your brows could be like up here. You could use brow gel, by the way, it's up to you. Okay, to finish off the eyes, I'm going to take some mascara. I added some mascara on the top lashes, leaving the lower lash line bare. I always find that just having the top is a little bit, you know, more natural. Okay, and finally for the lips, I'm going to use Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk. I'm using the lip liner and the lipstick. This is a very My Lips but better kind of shade, and I think that's why it's so popular. Okay you guys, so here it is. This is my take on the no makeup challenge. I really like it. It makes me feel confident, and yes, it is less coverage and you can still see the discoloration. I do look a little bit more bronzed than I usually do because bronzer gives me that confidence. I love the freckles. I love how natural and fresh and cute this makeup looks, and I would love to know what you think of this makeup look. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed that. If you did, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. You are the best. I hope to see you next time.